Hi everyone, my name is Donnie, and today I'm excited to start a new playlist in our channel. So I'm going to create videos about whiteboard sessions wherein I have this whiteboard and I'm going to demonstrate how to create certain diagrams or tools or use certain tools that you can use in managing your workplace. Now, the reason why we have to use a whiteboard is because these are tools that you really cannot use Excel or PowerPoint with. You simply just have to get a pen and paper or maybe a whiteboard and pen and just start writing. Okay, so no tool, no Excel function formula for this one. So the first is the fishbone diagram, or also known as the Ishikawa diagram. So the fishbone diagram is used for analyzing root causes when you have a large problem in your workplace. So you start by putting in your problem in the head of the fish. So let's say that I want to solve the problem about a high electricity cost in the workplace. Now, after you've identified what the problem is, you will then have to figure out what are the different aspects of this problem. Now, there are default aspects of the problem. You will write them in each of these thorns of the fish. So maybe we have a problem with measurement, or maybe it's something like a metric that the company doesn't or does monitor. Maybe it has to do with material. Maybe it has to do with methods. Maybe it has something to do with environment or manpower, or maybe the machines. You may notice that this is oriented towards manufacturing industry, but you can modify the aspect so that it would fit more on your organization. So, for example, I don't think that it has something to do with measurement. So I can change this to a different aspect that I think should also be in my diagram. So let's say that I also want to include management to replace my measurement. So the six aspects that I initially wrote are just the default aspects. You could start with them, and then eventually along the way you can edit them like what I did, add more if you need to, or just remove a certain aspect entirely. So in this case, I will just use these six, and then after I have these six aspects, I will then identify certain apparent causes for each of these aspects. So let's say for the first one, management, I don't have, okay, let's say no monitoring, okay, from the leaders. So this is my first apparent cause. For the materials, let's say the company uses old wirings. For methodologies, let's say that there are equipment that has to run for like 24/7. And take note of how I'm drawing a line to connect that apparent cause to the aspect. For the environment, these are the uncontrollables usually. Like, for example, the weather is too hot. That's why you have to switch on some air conditioning. Say for manpower, we have people rendering overtime. We have people who lack discipline. And then for machines, let's say that some machines are outdated. So after you have your apparent causes, and take note that you can have more than one apparent cause per aspect, like what I did in the manpower. Next is we have to further drill down this apparent causes into more specific causes. Like, why is there no monitoring from leaders? So maybe the leaders have uh, no time to do this. Leaders have no time. And pardon my penmanship, it's quite hard to write vertically. And maybe because leaders are not trained to monitor, no training. For the old wirings, let's say that the reason why the old wirings are old because the building has been there for like a very long time, or maybe we don't have any budget to replace them. For equipment, let's say that the reason why it's running 24/7 is because we have several needs, several clients. For the weather is too hot, not really something that we can do something about. So technically it ends there. For overtime, let's say people has no good time management and that let's say no training to improve their skills. Improve skills. Lack of discipline, let's say no policies about this. Outdated machines, let's say no budget to replace them. So you can further drill down if possible. So let's say that the reason why we have let's say no budget is because there's no budget, so it ends there. Let's say we have no training because no time for training and no budget as well. Let's say we don't have training as well to improve their skills, same with no budget. You say no policies, so it ends there, and another one is no budget. So you can drill down as much as you can. And then after you drill down as much as you can, you get all the end nodes, okay, of your fishbone. And then from here, you now have a list of several possible causes of your problem of high electricity cost. You will then eliminate anything that you really cannot control. Like, for example, the weather is too hot. There's nothing much we can do with that. Old building, I don't know, maybe you want to move to another building, but let's say that you cannot. So that one is X'd out our list of possible problems. So now we have one, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible causes, which you can then further drill down using different analysis or using other methods that you can use to really pinpoint which one of this is indeed the major contributor. Maybe you could use a Pareto chart, a Pareto diagram, or maybe just perform a study and determine which one of them is something that you can resolve in order to solve this problem. And there you go. That's how you create a fishbone diagram or an Ishikawa diagram. And you could use this, you can do this in maybe just a paper, or maybe you could use Google Jamboard, or if you have a whiteboard, maybe, then you can simply perform something like this with your team as part of your brainstorming session to solve your problems. And that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. And feel free to subscribe. I hope you do and you like this video. And I'll see you in the next whiteboard session.